hopefully they can troubleshoot. But your time is precious, so I'm going to keep it right to 30 minutes, and I talk a lot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to go through and I'm going to mute everybody. Sometimes when we have more than 5 people on, it starts to echo. So I'm going to mute. Now, if you're on a phone or a tablet or a desktop, if you guys look at the bottom, there's going to be like a chat box or a chat icon in there. You guys can easily click that if you want to ask any questions. So if it's something I'm getting to, I will tackle it right then. If not, I will make sure that I get them at the end. Okay, so if there's something that I'm talking about, oh, that's actually something I really want to know a little bit more about in depth, don't be shy. Feel free to do that, okay? So I'm excited to have everybody here. Now, there's names that I don't recognize, so that means that you were invited by another coach on our team. So very excited to have everybody on here. So let me share a little bit about myself, and I'm going to dive into this more along what my journey has been, how I started, because I think it's going to be very similar to those who are on the call right now, and really what the culture of our team is and what we strive to do. There's obviously way more that goes into than what you see me post on Facebook, okay? And I think for me, when I was a challenger before I became a coach, I really didn't understand what coaches did behind the scenes. I was like, that's awesome. Awesome selfie. Okay, not quite sure what else is going on. Like, I know you're an income and like you're helping people. And like, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't understand. So that is the beauty of Zoom now and these virtual chats that really didn't exist 3.5 years ago. It was more of like Google Hangouts, and that was always glitchy and always going out. So this is going to be a great way for you guys to listen in. Okay, so a little bit more about me. What I will do is let me screen share. This is actually a little picture, hold on, of my fam, so you guys can see a little bit more about me. Okay, let's see. Lisa, I can see you on my screen. Can you see the visual I just put out? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see it? Good? Good? Okay, awesome. Okay, so let me tell you about how I got started coaching. It took me a long time to get on board. And the reason being is, I didn't even know what Beachbody was. Honestly, when I finally got approached about it, I thought you actually had to work out at the beach, like to get a Beachbody. And I'm like, well, that doesn't work for me because I am homebound. I can't get anywhere. I had 5 children at that point, and I realized in hindsight, I think with my first 4 kids, I was probably lucky in the regards that I would have a child and like lose weight, and I was younger, and it wasn't a huge thing. And then when I had my 5th, so I have 4 boys and a girl, my body changed completely. And I went from what my body is for healthy is around a size 4 to beyond a size 16. I couldn't even fit into my extra large maternity clothes at that point after I had my child. And it was devastating. And I had no idea what to do. And I started contacting gyms and came to find out I had too many kids. I wasn't allowed to bring my children to the gym because I had too many, unless I called right beforehand and they had an extra staff that could help with my brood, with my tribe. So then I ended up doing CrossFit for 6 months, which I loved. And honestly, CrossFit was a huge part of the transition into the culture of our team. Simply because of the teamwork there. I was always the heaviest, and I was always the last one finished with everything that I did. But nobody left that box until I was done. If that meant they were running outside with me at 5:30 in the morning, if they were counting it out for me, helping me finish. And my body needed more than 2 to 3 days a week. I could tell at that point, but physically I couldn't get there because I had too many children. At this point, I've been seeing my coach now, who I actually went to high school with. We weren't really even friends in high school. We went to high school together, and she'd been posting, and she had talked to me a couple times about it, and I'm like, nah, I don't think that's my thing. Like, is it jazz hands, like Richard Simmons, like DVDs? I had really no idea what it was. And I'm like, I'm going to do Nutrisystem. So I did 4 months of Nutrisystem, said no to that. So I did 4 months of Nutrisystem. And Nutrisystem was it actually helped me lose weight. Like I was starting to lose some weight, but by month 4, besides spending $500 to $600 a month on Nutrisystem, I wasn't learning how to portion out things for myself. I wasn't learning how to cook it for myself. And as I was starting to lose weight, I wasn't exercising. So it was that loose kind of skin that was there. And so after this entire journey of me trying to figure out, finally, I was like, tell me what you're doing. Because I had what I would call my biggest loser moment, where I just looked at myself in the mirror in the bathroom one day, and my husband came in and found me just curled up on the floor, naked, a ball mess, crying. And I was just like, that person in the mirror isn't me. Like, it's not me, and I don't know what to do. And it was something that's burned in my memory. I will always remember that moment, because that night, everything changed. That was when that light bulb went off. There was a switch that happened, and I feel that everybody has that in their life, and they're going to get to a season of life, whether you're there or not, where you're like, something has to change. I can't live this way. I can't be the one that's sitting at the playground watching my kids play because I'm exhausted, because I physically can't keep up. That was me. So I joined in as a challenger and started with Insanity, which is the hardest program still to this date that I've ever done. And it was 45 to 60 minutes a day. And I did it. I could do it at home. I didn't have to commute. I didn't have daycare. I didn't have to call a gym ahead of time. I didn't have to wait on machines. I didn't have to do the gym dance of kind of going around trying to find your different things to do, getting in the zone. And I lost the weight, and it was a game changer for me. What came along with that weight loss and that new sense of just that physical transformation of finally looking in the mirror and recognizing myself again, like that's the Marissa that I know was there, was this crew of friends that came with me from the challenge groups, people who cared. Like, if I were to go to a spin class and didn't show up for another 2 weeks, nobody texted me, nobody called me, nobody messaged me and was like, yo, are you alive? Are you okay? Like, what can we do to help? I didn't get that. And within the challenge groups, I did. Like, people legitimately cared about what I was doing and where I was. And it was just something that I needed to experience, and I needed to have this crew of people behind me. And so after that experience, my coach had been mentioning coaching a couple times, and at first I was like, I don't know. And after people started seeing my transformation, they started asking me, and I started referring them on to her. And finally, I was on vacation with my family. These are my kids in the picture. I was on vacation in the mountains, and I just vividly remember sitting there and I'm like, I'm ready to do this. I had no reception. I had to get in the van. I had to drive on the interstate. I called her and I'm like, I know this is crazy and I'm on vacation. Like, I should be unplugged, but something inside me is telling me that I'm ready for this. Like, my life needs this. Like, my mental life depends on this. I can do this. I can help others. And this is what I want to do. So to make a long story that short, I signed up, and it's been 3 years and a month, and I have never looked back. And it's something that I'm going to get into, in a few minutes, about really what Beachbody is and what the culture of our team is. But there was a lot of that camaraderie from CrossFit that I brought into what I wanted for my team. And, it's something that, if you're looking at this from a business, and I don't want to focus on it business angle too much right now. I have another recording that I can send you guys. It's more business angle. But when I signed up as a coach with this team, I had no idea that it was the number one team out of the entire company. I had no idea. I signed up because I had an incredible connection with my coach. She believed in me. She rooted for me. I felt like she was authentic. She cared about what I did. She cared about where my journey was. And it wasn't until a couple weeks in that I realized that we were part of the strongest lineage in the entire company. And with that comes the camaraderie of everybody working together, where what my coach was given by her coach, who was the top coach at that point, she gave to me. I gave to my team. In this business, you don't succeed unless you work together as a team. So there's not a lot of you don't sign on, you're on your own. It's not one of those. It's not about sales. I'm a firm believer in this business that we don't sell products, we serve people. And that's not how everybody works. That's not how not all network marketing businesses work. But I'm here to tell you that's how we work. And we're not here for numbers, and we're not here for sales. And if that's something that you're oriented to, it probably won't be a fit. We're here to serve people. The easiest part of my job is when somebody clicks purchase. And that's usually the hardest for sales. For me, that's the easiest, because then my job starts. Because then they're in a group and they're becoming a product of the product. Fitness program doesn't mean anything. Shakeology doesn't mean anything if they don't follow through. And that's my job as a coach. As a coach, you come free with a purchase, basically. So if somebody logs in and purchases something, you come along with that. So with that being said, that really is kind of a round way of how I started my journey as a coach. And I signed on, and I never looked back. When I realized the camaraderie behind the scenes, so if you guys put your hands up, and I know a lot of you aren't on camera right now, but if you guys are in a current challenge group right now, who's in a current challenge group? No, Amanda is. Glenna, okay. Asia is, okay. So if you're currently in a challenge group, you're experiencing what's going on in there, how we have the daily assignments and we have the Challenger Tracker apps, and there's crazy engagement every single day, and different challengers worldwide. So I have from the Cayman Islands up to Canada, then overseas. So we have military overseas too. And people are posting and commenting and cheering each other on and building these relationships. And the physical transformation is only part of it. And some of my best friends have come from these groups, like Glenna, who's on here, Alicia was on here. Like we just met in person our first time, a month and a half ago. But you're like this because you work so hard together. So what you guys are experiencing, this is what we do. This is how we work together. We do these team calls. We're plugged into the team. We work with different groups with different goals and what everybody's doing. So this right here gives you an experience of exactly how we function behind the scenes and how we build those relationships and connections with teammates and with our downline. So with coaches of my coaches of my coaches of my coaches who aren't my coaches, but that doesn't matter. We all work together. So what I wanted to share is just a couple minutes about really what Beachbody is. And then I wanted to share some of the stuff that we've been up to the past year or so. So let me get this back up here. Okay. So what is Beachbody? Like I said, I thought I had to go work out at the beach. Clearly, that's not what you have to do. Beachbody is $1 billion+ year company now. They reached $1 billion mark January of this year. There's now over 30 programs. So a lot of people know maybe P90X, Insanity, Hip Hop Abs. It's kind of the old school programs. And now you guys have 21 Day Fix, Country Heat, Size, 21 Day Fix Extreme. Then you have the Turbo Fire. You have P90. There's so many programs. The 21 Day Fix is the #1 infomercial in the world. Beachbody is 100% debt-free corporation. And for me, that was huge because that was the direction that I was going with our family. It was make sure you're not in the red, make sure you're always in the black. Something that comes along with the brand of Beachbody, which for me, I didn't think about. Again, I was just helping people and I wasn't thinking of it as the business angle. But what I learned very quickly was Beachbody is such a high brand recognition. They may not know the word Beachbody. They know Tony Horton, or they know Shaun T, or they know that infomercial when they were nursing their baby at 2 a.m. in the morning of people jumping around and sweating more than you've ever seen anybody sweat in your life. They're like, that's what that is. So this isn't a new company. It was started in 98. So you have this brand recognition where usually you can find some sort of common thread with a customer, whether they've seen it online, whether they've seen it through social media, whether they've seen it on infomercials, where they've seen it at the airport, where they've seen it on the backs of the buses. Like I've seen it everywhere. Billboards. So it's one of those that I didn't think of that coming into it, but if you look at it from a business angle, it's very high brand recognition, which for me and for you makes your job a little bit easier because there's not that wall of, oh, this is brand new, and oh, does this really work? You have proven track records. You have proven track records of transformations and nutrition and a company that is growing exponentially. So that's something very, very, very important that I always want to point out. Now, I'm going to skip over some of these. Now, what does a coach do? Okay, and this is something that I didn't know either. I finally was like, I'm going to take this leap of faith, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. The beauty of this business, guys, is nobody signs on knowing everything. So if you feel like you're ready to do it, but you're like, I just want to make sure and get all these things checked off, I promise you, once you get those checked off, you're going to have 2 more questions. This is a kind of learn as you go, fail forward type thing. Some things are going to work, some things aren't going to work. And that's why we all work together as a team on that. So as a coach, I know you guys can see what I do on social media. And it's kind of an 80-20 rule that I use on there. My social media feed is more of a reality show. That's kind of what I've now developed when I look at it. And what I mean by that is I still mean it's real, but it's not all my business. It's an organic following. That's my personal page. And Beachbody is something that I do. And has it changed my life? Absolutely. Is it my entire life? No. So with our team, that's something in the very beginning we really try to drive home is, even though you're going to be really excited and overzealous and want to share this with everybody all the time, that's not what I do, okay? We share value, and we may share one thing a day that is business related to our company. But really the rest as a coach is you being you. You attract you. Honestly, that's how it is in this business. You're going to continue to add, meet new people and whatnot. And if you are authentically you, going through your daily life, you are going to attract the people who are in a similar season of life as you. And as a coach, that's what we do, especially what you see on social media. I'm a believer to always put out good. I think there's enough negative, toxic energy out there. So even though we weather major storms, until there's a silver lining, I don't share that. But really, besides that, you see what, you get what you see with me. And so as a coach, that's part of what we do. You share value. You share value, whether it's something, a lesson that you've learned, whether it's an inspirational quote, whether it's you're having a really hard day and workouts really helped and changed your mentality. Now, in more detail, obviously you work out. Being a product of the product, you're going to hear me say that over and over and over again. And by that, I don't mean that you have to be this perfect, in shape, end of your transformation road coach. That's not what it is. People relate to your journey. People related to my journey. People relate to the struggle. They relate to the real. They don't relate to somebody who's in peak condition and didn't have to grunt it out and didn't have to sweat it out and didn't have to fail forward on things. Now, meal planning, another thing that we do. So obviously meal planning with Density Nutrition, with Shakeology goes hand in hand. Virtual brainstorming, what we're doing right here. This is what we do often. We do meetups and fellowships and retreats. And so I'm going to share some pictures with you guys from Summit. So every year we have a big convention called Summit. Summit is massive. I will show you those. So actually, I'll wait till I show you that. We host Super Saturdays. So where I'm from, I'm in Clearwater right now. And so I'm part of the Tampa Market Council. So quarterly, we host these big get-togethers. And it's a great way for the community and coaches and potential coaches. Anybody who's health and fitness minded or wants to learn more can come, and we usually do a workout at the end, and we do more information for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and a lot of times have corporate speakers come in too. We grow through personal development. Personal development is huge. I don't have all my books here, but that's one of our vital behaviors. You can't pour into others if you're not pouring into yourself first. Huge believer in that. So fueling your mind with what you need, because business isn't always great, and it's going to take momentum, and it's going to take creativity, and it's going to take perspective of going, okay, this is a blip or this is a ditch and it's going to go back up and it's going to keep pushing in anything in life. And I can tell you right now that personal development's what's helped push me through so much, not just business wise, but just in life. And this wasn't something besides devotions with my ministry that I ever dove into if it wasn't for this company and wasn't for the mindset of the lineage and the team that we're a part of. And again, share your journey. Sharing your journey in this is crucial. There's nothing that I can say that my actions don't speak louder for. So I could tell people this, and that, but if I'm not living that, if I'm not walking the walk on that, and that's how it is. I mean, you live that life. Now, what do coaches get? And I'm going to go through these quickly, okay? So I have some questions about these behind the scenes. So what do you get as a coach? Your health, right? 25% off all products. So Shakeology, equipment, supplements, workout programs, apparel, anything, 25% off, okay? You have the opportunity to build financial stability. And we'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm a true believer you get out what you put into this business. Whether you are looking for some extra cash a month or whether you are looking for full financial freedom to be your own boss, to get out of a toxic work environment, maybe to get home to your kids. And I mean, it just, whatever your why is, and your why is going to be very different for everybody. But I'm a believer, if you dig deep and if your why makes you cry, you'll figure it out. And if this is a fit for you, and I believe it can be a fit for so many people, you figure it out. You figure out a way to carve out time every day to build a business. A community. This is something huge. And I don't want to put too many pictures of this in here, but last January, my son got very, very sick. And some of you guys might have followed that story, and some of you may not know what I'm talking about, but he ended up being diagnosed with something called Stevens-Johnson syndrome, where basically he started burning from the inside out. And within 24 hours, was shuffled out of all children's because the ICU couldn't handle how critical he was. So he went to the burn unit and full burn, lost all his skin. So he was there. We were there for a month. We lived in the Ronald McDonald House. In the midst of this, I was the event coordinator for the largest Super Saturday we've had in the area. We had over 930 attendees, including our CEO and including Autumn from 21 Day Fix, flew in for it. And my team carried everything. They carried the weight, they maintained the business, they maintained the relationships, and they maintained my family. So they put together fun runs and they delivered meals to my other 4 children and to my parents who at that point moved into my house. And I never would have had that support if it wasn't for coaching. It doesn't matter what rank coach you are or the longevity in the company. When you need help, this business comes with an army of friends. And that's what happened to me last January. So when I say community, I mean it. There's nothing else that I've ever experienced like it, where you have people come together for a positive cause who expect nothing in return, and internationally. So our company's international. So it was amazing to be able to experience that. Okay, let me go back to screen share and see I did that without crying. I'm getting better. Okay, so we've got about 7-8 minutes left, okay? Now, are there costs associated with coaching? Again, get this question, and I want to visually break it down for you, okay? Now, if you purchased a challenge pack, which the majority of our customers do, if you're not a challenger with us right now, a challenge pack is a program bundled with a month of Shakeology for a very deep discount versus if you were to buy it separately. So if you were to buy it separately, it's going to cost anywhere from $40 to $80 more depending on what you were buying. If you purchased a challenge pack, either as a previous challenger or if you sign up as a coach at the same time, you're going to get the $40 one-time coach fee either waived if you sign up when you purchase or reimbursed if you had previously purchased it, okay? Now, That's the one-time fee, and that's it. Okay, so you are now a business owner. You now get the Beachbody websites, whatnot. So that's what you get. Okay, so you're already done. Now, the monthly breakdown of it is this. If you ordered Shakeology on its own as a customer, okay, it's $130 a month. So remember, you're going to get daily meals with that, so it breaks down to a little bit over $4 a day per meal. Okay, if you're a coach, remember on the other side, I said you get 25% off. So it's going to take your Coach Shakeology cost down to $99. There's a monthly service fee of I round it up to $16 a month, unless you're military. If you're military or military spouse, you'll get that waived. Okay, the $16 covers your 2 websites. So when people purchase from you, they're going to go through the websites. So the total amount, if you are a coach, is $115. Total amount, if you're a customer, is $130. So that right there is just to, I'm a visual person on that when I learned, so I wanted to put it all out there. Okay, if you guys have any other questions, you guys can type them in the comments too. But that's where it's at, and that's what it is. Now, something else that I really want to tackle is how you earn money and how you advance in this business. What you sell does not advance your rank. And I want to be really clear on that, because I get that asked a lot from people who might have come from other companies or assume that they have to sell X amount of hundreds or thousands of dollars a month to then advance. You know, you see all these ranked gems, you know, Emerald, you know, Ruby, Diamond, Star Diamond, like what does that mean? I don't know. Has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Okay? So I want to point that out in the beginning, that you're never going to see at the end of the month people being like, if somebody will buy, this will help me build my business, or I'll advance my business to this rank. Okay? It alleviates that stress of thinking of people as sales, because they're not. Like I said, the sale in this business, that's where your job starts. Now, when you advance rank, it's because you're building a team. So that means that you have coaches who are joining you. And that is how advancement in this company happens, with the duplication of your team. Okay, so that's the growth of this company. You earn 25% commission of everything that you sell. Now, remember, like I said, when you sign up, you get 2 websites. You're going to get your Beachbody website. You're going to get your Shakeology website. What I want you guys to keep in mind is that's your middleman. You're not. You don't buy product and then distribute product. Okay, you're not that person that has to put out all this money in order to earn and then hopefully break even on everything. Okay, so they buy from the website. If there's a discrepancy, they deal with it with coach relations and customer service, and you help to troubleshoot it from your end as well. But that alleviates any product. There's no product you guys have to have. Okay, your residual percentages never go down. What does that mean? That means if somebody was to purchase Shakeology from you every single month, you earn 25% every single month. That residual never goes down. That's a question I get a lot now, where I guess maybe sometimes it goes down 10, 15% after X amount of days. That doesn't happen here, okay? You earn team cycle bonuses, and I don't want to get too technical with this, but team cycle bonuses and team growth is really where your income is going to be earned in this company. The next point, this is super important to me. You can out-earn and outrank somebody who started before you. Just because I started before my team, we have almost 1,000 in our downline now, doesn't mean that I'm the cap to their potential earnings, and it doesn't mean I'm capped to their potential rank. That has nothing to do with it. And that, for me, is an amazing thing. My job is to make sure my girls and guys have the tools that they need to build at the pace they want to. I don't set their pace. I don't set their goals. They do. Their why sets their goals, and it's my job to match the pace they set, not vice versa. This isn't about me. It's about them. You set the pace you want to build, and again, I will match your speed on that. So this is a little hard to read, I think. But what I wanted to show on here is income growth, okay? You get paid weekly from Beachbody. So you get a check every single week, which is amazing. You don't have to wait till the end of the month. And with that, I wanted to share with you guys my income my first 2 years on how it was building, okay? So by October, I'd been in the business for 3 months, and that week I earned almost $400, so it was $397. That was strictly from commissions, 25% commissions. I didn't have a team at that point. Okay, 15 months later, the same week in October, my total was $561. And out of that, my team cycle bonus was $396. What is that and what does that mean? That means that I'd only sold basically $114 of commission that I had received from my sales, but that my team was growing and that I was earning an income. And this is where I'm talking about, guys, being part of a strong team in this business is a huge asset to you, because we're working on it together and we're helping to grow the volume that you're also building. October 2015, so I'd been in right about 2 years, and that's the same week right there. My earnings for that was $1,650 for that week. $1,296 of that was in team cycle bonuses. Okay, so only $200 was my retail sales. Okay, over almost $1,300 was because of our team. So that might sound confusing. These numbers don't include my Star Diamond bonuses, don't include my second business center, and don't include my trips earned. Okay, none of that comes out of this. That's just on top of it. Okay, so this was really important. This would have been really important to me looking at this from a business angle if I was a new coach or somebody considering that. So I want to show you guys the growth, and I want to show you can far surpass that or not. It depends on what your goals are. Now, what I wanted to show you guys before we get off the call is just some other pictures of, of our team. I love this picture so much. So this was at Summit when we were in Nashville, and this is some of our team. And when you look at our business, I think a lot of times people are like, it's all online, it's all virtual stuff. No, not only do you have the quarterly Super Saturdays, you have this, you have your Summit convention, you have a Success Club trip, which you are able to earn. I've been to Cancun for free. I went to our last cruise for free. I'm going to Punta Cana in April for free. These are all things that I am earning simply by helping X amount of people per month. And on top of that, you get really cool things every month, and you get swag and all of that stuff. But what I want to show you guys is where my heart is in this, because the people represented in this picture and in our team, you just can't replace those friendships. They're there for you through the thick and thin. They are from Canada to all the way South Florida. Then we have West Coast represented in this picture. And just to know that you have this army like behind you, backing you all the time is amazing. And like I said, this is like the tip of the iceberg. It blows my mind, the people who are in my life, that if it weren't for social media or referrals of friends of friends of friends, my life would be in a very different place right now, simply because I took that leap of faith. This is from the cruise. I thought these are some fun little photos too. So these are the bigger lineage that we're a part of. So this isn't just our team. And again, these are a lot of coaches, anywhere from new coaches to 15-star diamond coaches that you're working with and teaming up with. A lot of them are people that, you might hear on the big calls that we have and things like that. And the really cool thing is they're our friends. It's not like being part of a company like, oh, did you hear about that person? And I heard they met this milestone. It's like, no, they're a friend, and we're on team calls with them. And it's amazing because we get to learn from them. I did dodgeball down at the corner there because I'm like ADD when I go places and I can't sit still and I have to go do something. But had an amazing time. And this last picture, this was something that I wanted you guys to see, because this was in Nashville and they shut down, what was that, Broadway? I think that was Broadway. And so it was 28,000 coaches, I believe, but anyway, shut it down. and you have super workouts there. And the energy that you get from being and experiencing these types of events, guys, is just like nothing else I've ever been a part of. So, you know, to end it, this is something that I do get asked a lot too. What if you don't want to sell things? And I'm like, good, because neither do we. Like I talked about, you do you. You set your goals and you share your journey. I have never posted a link to my website publicly since I've started coaching. Ever. We're a 3-star Diamond Premier team, and I know that's Beachbody lingo, but that's in the top 0.01%. I mean, it's insane, guys. The growth that can happen when you share value and you're you. Your friends connect with you. Your market connects with you. They're not going to connect with what worked for this person or what worked for this person. That was a hard lesson for me to understand. A really hard lesson for me to understand. And once I fell into that and I got it, and I was like, I'm just me. You know, everything off, like this is just who I am, and I'm just going to share that unapologetically. I'm going to be transparent, and I make mistakes, and I learn from them, and I fail forward, and that's okay. And that's why this business works. That's why this business works. So, you know, we're at 9:37, so I went a couple minutes over, but I'm just really excited for everybody that was able to hop on tonight. I recorded this. I also have another one that really I'm just focused on if you guys really want the business side of it, the numbers, that type of thing. Sometimes spouses are very numbers oriented. I'm like, well, what did she say about this? So if that's it, you know, and Glenna or Steph, if there's anything in the chat box, will you guys just open it up real quick and just help answer if you guys see anything in there? You can help answer questions too. But I hope that you guys got a perspective, at least, as to what we do, as to why we do it, and really a good understanding as to the culture of our team. There's no contracts with coaching. You know, if you sign on and for some reason it's not a fit, it's not a fit. Your goals are your goals. You don't sign on, and there is not an agenda to go to what I want or to what your coach wants. That's not how this business works. If it did, we would crash and burn within 6 months. I feel a team that's been in this for three years, a very diverse team. I have coaches who have fur babies, who are not married, who are full-time students, who are nurses, who are physicians, who are attorneys, who are educators, who have 1 child, who have 5 children, who have 7 children. And it's amazing how everybody can come together. So I just want to thank you guys. If there's any other, let me look in here if there's any other questions. Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything? They can unmute or type in the chat box. Was there anything specific coaching-wise that I touched on that? I promise if you guys have a question, somebody else has the same one. They just haven't asked it yet. Anything? Okay. Amanda, anything? She's like, maybe? No, okay. Okay. Oh, the discount is the best. Yeah. You know, and that's one more thing I will touch on too, is you can sign up strictly for discount coaching. We have a lot of discount coaches, meaning they love Shakeology, they love the programs. They're in a season right now where they really don't want to build a team. They're not maybe income driven, they don't want that, but they don't want to pay full price for something if they don't have to. So you are able to discount coach. That's something that you're able to do too. Sign up is the same. Everything's exactly the same. And at some point you decide you want to build a team, you can. Or if sometimes, you know, you sign up as a business builder coach and then all of a sudden, you know, life happens and life crumbles and you can't do anything else. That's okay. You guys can discount coach too. So that's something that you can do as well. I have a coach who's pregnant and how it's very possible to still be successful starting pregnant. Okay. That is something that I really want to touch on. Some of the coaches who have really slayed it in this business were pregnant. And the reason why in my opinion, is because they were going through that transformation and people were able to go along that journey with them. You know, in hindsight, I'm like, gosh, why didn't I discover Beachbody when I was like pregnant with my fifth? That would have been amazing. But this is a business that you can modify anything with over 30 plus programs. You guys are going to be able to find a fit. Okay. There's different things that you're going to do. And the coaches that I've seen who've gone through a pregnancy and then had that transformation afterwards, it's been an amazing thing for their business. People follow that. They've created a whole new market, and people who are pregnant, women who are pregnant, who are experiencing that same season and going through it. And then they have their child, and then they slowly go through that transformation as well. So that's a great, great question. I think that was from Asia. So that was a really good question. Let me see. Is there anything else before we hop off? Just give you guys energy. Yeah, definitely gives me energy. Now there's different, you guys have to keep in mind too, there's different flavors, and we also have vegan. So vegan goes along with what I would suggest for nursing and pregnant moms. So it's based on a pea protein. Something that when I started as a challenger, and I'll be very honest, it took me a couple weeks to get in my Shakeology groove. Meaning it took my body, I felt like I went through a detox. I'm not kidding. I went from eating crud to then shocking my system with something that was so nutrient dense. So this isn't something that, you know, I mean, unless you were already kind of on a nutrition, you know, something already healthy based. If you took meat, that's what I went through. So it's not something that right away was an immediate change for me. Secondly, it took me time to figure out that texture and consistency and flavor that worked for me. I wanted something actually grittier, which is why I ended up going more toward the vegan. I kind of compare it to like Coke and Diet Coke because that was like my addiction before Shakeology. Yeah, so it takes time. Mine was a couple of weeks. It took my body time to adjust. At that same time, I was starting to work out, which I wasn't doing really a lot of because I was on Nutrisystem. And it just takes time just for you to get into that mode. But I've been drinking Shakeology for 3 years and 3 months now. Yeah, give the other bag a try. And that's another thing too. If you guys aren't current challengers, you may not know this. You can have a full serving size bag of one flavor, or you can get a box of combination of different flavors. It comes with 24 servings. So you guys can get like the barista one. Now that includes a cafe latte. You can get the chocolate vanilla. You can do chocolate and greenberry. You can do vegan chocolate, vegan strawberry. So for me, they didn't have a ton of those options when I first started, so I kind of had to start with one bag. But now that's amazing. So if you're not quite sure, if you haven't tried it yet, as a new coach coming into this, if you guys listen to this call, you get off tonight and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. Like, I'm going to go for it. Like, I listened to the call, like it's, you know, it's legit. Like, these are people who are passionate, who are purpose driven, who are in it for the right reasons to serve people and not to sell products. And if you get off and decide it's the move for you, I would suggest you probably get a box of combination of flavors. That's what I would suggest. Because then you have different flavors you can try, different consistencies you can make it with. And it gives you a variety. So when you tell your future customers what was your favorite flavor, you got options. I've tried everything. Everything now. But great questions. Anybody? Let me make sure I had all those. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, I tried a few different ways. Yep, I would. Every day, I'd give it at least a couple weeks. Like I said, my body went through that big time. And then it all starts working. And then you're like, oh, this is what it's like not to be constipated all the time. It's nice. Okay, well, you guys have an awesome night. So, Lisa, you got a kiddo on the right and then a dog on the left. That's legit my life during the day. And I want to close with that. I have 5 children. My life is insane chaos all the time. I'm telling you guys, you can build this business with an hour a day. If that means 30 minutes up early in the morning and 30 minutes bed at night. If you are in this to come home from work, if you are in this to stack up your kids' college education. Whatever your goals and your whys are, I'm telling you, you can do it with all of this going on. And that is what we do as a team. We create tools to expedite the learning process so you can duplicate what we've done. That is my goal, is for everybody to do it faster. Do it faster. So anyway, okay, I have the recording, so if you guys see the recording, let me know. But thank you so much. Contact the coach who invited you to the call tonight. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask or message us later on. And we're here to help, okay? And I hope I see a lot of your faces on the team. We're going to be starting we have some of our training videos that are going on right now within our private groups as well. So it would be very cool if we had a wave of new coaches all start together. Because when I started as a new coach, some of my best friends came from being those newbies together and learning it and going through those learning curves as a new coach together. It's always fun when you have like a crew of 5 or 6 new coaches. So it'd be a fun time to join. Okay. All right. You guys have an awesome night. Okay. Thanks for hopping on. Bye, guys.